Hey guys, this is Tiggy Maximus. Welcome to part 2 of the Tiggy Maximus talks on YouTube. From episode, 183? So, I want to talk about this other comedy show I went to. Really great show. Great from start to finish. It was Mike Diamond. He's the headliner of his own show. He had Walter Ford host his show on July 5th at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in Claremont Mesa Boulevard. So, again, always a great venue. There's always good food, good drinks. They always give you like free tickets and stuff if you order from their special menu. And never really a dull moment. So, Walter Ford got to start off the show. 6 comics. It was Walter Ford, Elijah Johnson, Giovanni King, Blake Barty, Kells Barksdale, Mike Diamond. So Walter Ford loves talking about if anyone's from San Diego. Kind of changed it up just a little bit, but he did want to mention that San Diego drivers are bad when it rains, especially when it rains. So he has this whole wind-up motion. Anytime when there's a splash of water or something that ends up on the windshield and everybody is like panicking because of a drop of water before the big rains come and then nobody drives properly. That's Walter Ford's experience with drivers in San Diego. He has some good jokes. And, just warming up the crowd. And, nothing really bad about it. Can't say. But he did I would say he did okay. He did pretty well. For his comedy, I would say that let's say Walter Ford was an 8.25 out of 10. I think it might have. He did well, but it's just that he probably needed some time to get the crowd warmed up and just to get a feel for it. So, then I believe next up was Elijah Johnson. First time seeing him, I guess in a way he kind of works in real estate or something, because there was a realtor in the crowd, and it's fitting because Mike Diamond actually works in mortgage brokerage. So it's kind of fitting you would have, stuff and, just apparently that's how I figured out that he works in real estate, Elijah Johnson. And of course, he said that his boss was actually in the crowd too, which is probably true because they acknowledge each other. So Elijah Johnson kind of talked about real estate and his boss being there. I guess he's part military as well, so got a good feel of who in the crowd was like part military. So I would say, Elijah Johnson didn't do too bad. 8.25 out of 10. So, and then we were treated to Giovanni King. Guy's a funny guy. I want to say he probably did talk about his what was like a backpack or a sling, because he brought that to the stage. And I just remember who he was because I saw him over at the Madhouse. But he got a lot of good laughs though, and I guess he's been touring around. Uh, if I remember correctly, I think he lives in California and somewhere between LA and San Diego. Um, so um, it was good seeing him. Also, crowd liked him a lot. So this was already a good lineup. I would say that Giovanni King was a 8.6 out of 10. Um, let's see. Next up, I believe we had um, Blake Barty. He has this thing about customer service, and I've seen it quite a few times before. And it's nice to get reacquainted with Blake Barty. Um, okay, and the fact that he totally relates to everybody in the crowd about customer service, and then the customer service operator or AI seems to be very attitudey. Uh, and then he did talk about Siri and Alexa, um, but Blake Barty just does the whole bit with customer service and how it hangs up on you for not understanding anything he's saying. That was comedy gold. So, I want to say Blake Barty was a 8.75. Pretty funny guy. Next we have Joking Words, Kels Barksdale. Great guy. Nice to talk to him again. When I saw his name on this lineup, and just knowing that there were some pop-ins, I was in for a treat along with everybody else in the crowd. And it just got better and better as the lineup went on. So I would say Kel Sparksdale did talk about some stuff. I want to say he did talk about, he probably talked about dating. Also, he probably may have talked about food. But a lot of the stuff he was going on this set, it was really good, and it reminded me of why he did so well the other time I've seen him, and I think it was over at the Madhouse. So it's kind of cool getting to know these guys again, knowing that I knew everybody on the lineup except for Elijah, but it's always good to see everybody again, see what kind of stuff they got going on, new jokes mixed with their old jokes. So I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I would say, yeah, Kells Barksdale, I would say he was an 8.7 out of 10. And then you got our headliner, Mike Diamond. I remember him being a mortgage broker, so if I ever need to get a mortgage rate approved, Mike Diamond is the guy to talk to. So he kind of talked about dating. He talked about sex and the moment that he knew that he needed to lose some weight. It was something about his nipples, I guess, on his chest. It was like doing the twirls, both of them, while he was on the bottom. And so that's when he knew. That's always funny. It always cracks me up. Also, I guess Mike Diamond did acknowledge that there was some beautiful women in the front row and asked who is with who, or what the situation is with the ladies. And then he gets this thing about sizing up your competition. So that's always fun, just to kind of have like see how people in the crowd react if Mike Diamond is trying to size you up. See if you can take your girl or something. So, but it was a good crowd, and Mike Diamond did pretty well. I want to say he was an 8.8 out of 10. It was nice to talk to everybody after the show. Introduce myself to Elijah Johnson, but I got to catch up with Blake Barty, Kels Barksdale, Walter Ford, um, Giovanni King. I might have missed, but it's always nice talking to Mike Diamond. Um, he's going to do pretty well with mortgages and comedy. So the fact that he sold out the room was always good, and that's um, just a telltale sign of how good he could be going forward and be on his own. So um, I did get to meet this realtor. She was at the show too, and I met her by my car because her car is right next to mine. And we just ended up talking, and she gave me her business card. So looks like if I want to buy a home, I know who to reach out to. Her name is Roxana Fedor, and I have my mortgage rate guy with Mike Diamond. So that's it for me, guys. On I guess this is part two. Next time I make an episode. Let's just call it episode. Unless maybe there's a part three to this. If there's a part three to this, or I'll just simply call this episode 184, where I just talk about food trucks, food in general. So stay tuned for food. Yeah, there's a Coronado Food Truck Thursdays going on today, so a lot of good stuff, good food, good lineup of food trucks, and tell you guys more about it later. So I'll look at this and see if I want to do part three for episode 183, talking about food trucks, or I'll just make that episode 184. So stay tuned, guys. Plus, Padres baseball. Gotta talk about that for a little bit. So, the saying goes, guys. Boom. Tiggy Maximus signing off. Baby. Bye. Laters. Have a good weekend.